Drop it in 3, 2, 1, drop it!
From the mountain, with free cash to flow, catching in the vibe, energy, and here we go. We take it from it like the purpose of content. Turn on the energy, the volume, the mountain, the sound is off, and then it's off the sound. Take the freestyle, hold the space beyond and it's gone.
My name is Brian Cole. I'm the Freeride Coordinator for the IFSA. So the IFSA was founded in 1996 by Shane McConkey. It's hard to know where the sport's going to go, and that's the beautiful part about this sport is because the athletes get to choose where it goes. The community gets to choose what's going to happen next. We don't know what's going to happen next. Our judging is pretty gray. There's a huge gray area of what you'll be judged well on. And so you can't know where the sport's going to go. And that's what's beautiful about it. There's 5 categories of judging criteria in freeride. There's line choice, technique, control, fluidity, and style and energy. So line choice is the path that you choose down the mountain. And the more difficult the path is, the higher of a score you get. Control is just staying on your feet. If you fall, you're done. If you lose a ski, you're done. If you tomahawk, you're done. Technique is hands out front, pole plant, staying on top of your board or your skis, just having good classic ski or snowboard technique. Style and energy is your attitude of free riding. So if you're really energetic, you're having fun, you're doing a good job, you're just enjoying the experience, it's going to show in the way you ride. And so it's kind of an overall impression category. So if it looks good, it's going to score well. That's what the style and energy category is. Fluidity. Fluidity is defined as moving somewhere with a goal. So never stopping. If you stop, you're going to get cut. If you have a nice, fluid, fast run with no stops, then you're going to score well. Athlete registration fees, most of it goes to the resort. So when you pay for an event, most of that money goes to the resort. The IFSA takes $3 per head to pay for my job and to pay for other IFSA expenses like banners or tents or judges. So that's what you're paying for with your registration fees. The most rewarding aspect is that it's a sport that I love. And so I love going out and skiing and pushing myself and skiing with friends. And this is a good, I get to be a part of building the structure that all of that revolves around. And so I love seeing people out with their friends, and I love seeing them at the bottom of venues, like laughing and stoked on their runs. And I like seeing people crash and like laugh about it afterwards. It's just I guess that's the most rewarding thing, that I get to support a community that I care about. And I feel really lucky that I get to do that.
I'm Peter Noon, and I grew up snowboarding in Fairbanks, Alaska. The Freeride team has, one of our particular challenges is that you can't predict necessarily how the conditions are going to be. It's not like running where, we have this defined, we're going to go run intervals. And so a lot of it's just adapting as we go, feeding off the energy that the athletes have, and then going from there. If we hit a feature and, people are really excited about it, but then maybe a couple of them crash and they wanted to go do it again, we'll go do it again. There really is a fine line between risk and reward in freeride, and it's something that I think about every day as a coach or if I'm just riding independently. And the first thing is that I, as a coach, really don't want to see athletes just going out to compete to get points, doing something that's so safe that they know that they're going to land on their feet every single time. I don't think there's a lot of glory or pride in doing that. But at the same time, you see a lot of people, and this especially comes from sort of the old days of freeride, where they're just chucking themselves off of cliffs and really having no regard for their well-being. And so the way I try to work through that dilemma is to emphasize practicing the way that you want to compete. Freeriding is a very independent sport, and at the end of the day, people need to make decisions for themselves. Freeriding doesn't always exist in a team atmosphere. A lot of times it exists in the backcountry, or it exists by yourself, or in places that you're unfamiliar with. And I want, ideally, an athlete to come down from their inspection run and to have some ideas, but then to also question themselves and to air those questions to me. And then we'll have a conversation, Why do you want to do this particular thing? What do you think could possibly go wrong? What do you think the rewards are? For example, a goal could be, I want to do a backflip in a competition. And you think, okay, the feature that you're looking to go do a backflip on has a lot of consequence. You could certainly do it, but then let's start to think outside of this competition itself. If the goal is just to do it this season in general, maybe there's another venue, at the next day's event or next week or month's event that would be a better place for it, and saving that that sort of push into the unknown for a different time. Or maybe, and this is a tough thing for a lot of people, is recognizing when it is time just to go for it. We try to be as cautious as possible, but conditions exist sometimes where there's no better time. And when you see that sort of thing, it's important to be able to go for it. And so if you limit yourself to just one style of skiing, when people say, oh, I don't hit airs, or oh, I don't hit the park, I don't hit rails, or whatnot, to me, that's just missed opportunity. There's so many different ways to have fun. When it comes down to it, it's, snowboarding is a wonderful reprieve. It's something to let your mind just relax from all the life stresses. It's also a source of inspiration. Like, I'm a confident person largely because I learned how to become a confident snowboarder. While it doesn't define me, it's not something that I'll ever give up.
Grew up around Colfax and Peoria and Denver, so it wasn't really a big skiing and snowboarding area, especially for that part of the city. I had one friend who just happened to be in the snowboarding, and he told me about it. I think I saw a picture of him, and this was I'm getting up there. So this was in 1998, and I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "Snowboarding." I was like, "Oh man, I got to do that." And my mom was like, "Sweet, yeah, cool." So I got in the ski and snowboard club in high school, and kind of just went up every second I could get.
What do you do now for a job to support yourself in snowboarding?
No, just snowboarding, that's all, and modeling. No, I'm just kidding. I am the reservations manager at the Park Hyatt in Beaver Creek, Colorado. But yeah, I also sell my own art called Treeline Moments Photography. So large landscapes, it's called urban mountain art. Basically, I'm bringing new perspectives to life, and that's also my main venture. Art and snowboarding, they're basically my life, and then my corporate career it's something I'm grateful for, but kind of a different thing.
How do you overcome fear when you choose this challenging line, like in particular your line at Taos?
But really, what kept me motivated was just knowing that nobody had really gone in there, and so there's good snow, and I almost bailed on it because I literally just didn't even know how to get to it. But then I just saw a bunch of people dropping, and I was like, I didn't come here to get like 12th, I wanted to do like a nice line. I felt like I'd been working hard and I could have done something big. And so I actually got to the start, and the starter helped me actually locate the entrance. And I was still scared. I was super scared, but I was like, I need to do this. And luckily, it didn't quite go as planned, but it's still, if I wouldn't have down climbed the cliff, definitely could have won. But I love down climbing cliffs. It's fun. It's like, it's an unconventional way of maneuvering around the mountain. And I don't recommend it, but I've been practicing it a long time, so it was really cool getting into that little pocket where nobody had. And, once I knew, well, I was committed, it really didn't. I was like, there's two ways off of the mountain, like in control or out of control. So once I was in it, I was just like, well, and people seemed to be into it. They were cheering me on, and I was like, okay, I could hear them, and that was like really what kept me going. I was like, well, may as well stomp this too. And then the rest is history, as they say. So.
In 18 years, first you said, dude. Rowdy, baby. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So tell me a little bit about that award that you got for that line at Taos.
So that was the Pajaro Loco Sickbird Award. Tom Winter, he's the man. He's a great organizer, and he was announcing it, and as he was starting to announce it, I was like, oh, I think this might be me. And
Zachary Varon, come on! Pat yourself on the highest step here.
changed my life because I was like, all right, I guess I have a place in the sport, and and I think that while we have like such crazy athletes doing amazing things, trick-wise, even technical-wise, I think like there's still a place for kind of mountaineer goat types in the sport still. So that's good.
What is your opinion about skiing with visual inspection versus on-course inspection?
I would love a visual inspection on a fresh course, but it's such a hard thing to ask for that where you put us on something beat up. Yeah, I kind of want to know like just what I'm getting myself into before I go just like sending it off everything. So I would love to go to visual, but yeah, you can't really have visual inspection if you're not going to save a fresh course for us. It doesn't work. And if they did go to visual, yeah, it would help people, I think, that are more backcountry oriented. Well, and the circuit's a permanently closed venue, so that's
pretty cool, yeah.
That's the point. That's the ticket. I'm one of the riskier people out there, and I try to, balance that risk and the reward because, it's all about being safe out there. One of my best friends died in November 27th this year, so it was really difficult. But it wasn't an avalanche. He was doing a backflip off a cliff. In terms of Bindu, because, like I say, he's one of my best friends in the whole world. I think about every time I hit a line, I think about him, every day. So I think they live in our hearts, I'm always constantly reassessing my danger levels, and as far as avalanches go, it's by far the scariest risk in the sport because it's the most unpredictable. My philosophy is I never want to get in an avalanche, so I'm always reading forecasts, I'm always looking at slope angles.
Live to ride another day. So
Amen. You got to. You just got to. And sometimes it's so tempting when you get like, really deep into a line to just continue to push it, but you got to make it home. That's all there is to it.
What is the thing you love most about Freeride and the Freeride community?
You just said it, the community. Like, it's just such an amazing family, and, when we all get together for competitions, it's just such a good time, such a good atmosphere. I think some of the most motivated people I know in my life are all competitive freeriders, and I think, like I said, as the sport grows and we, try to get more sponsorship dollars, then, we'll all be able to do it more frequently. Again, if everybody gets behind it, it has a huge mainstream appeal. Like, my friends that don't ski or snowboard have become pretty big fans. I'm not gonna say because of me or whatever, but I turned them on to watching it, and they're like, yeah, it's so fun to watch freeride competitions. It has infinite potential. And on a side note too, I think the ski and the snowboard industry are like 20 years behind in marketing because for one thing, I feel completely ignored as a person of color in the marketing aspects of the ski industry, and the fact that they're barely starting to tap that is, to me it's troubling, but like I said, it's a symptom of the larger economic picture. Some of the same things that plague our world economy, which is like income inequality and just the people at the top keeping all of it, apply to the ski industry. I mean, now it's time for the ski companies to kind of like shift their focus.
Zach, what are your goals? Is your goal to have fun and ride out there, or is your goal to make the Freeride World Tour? Is that your aspiration? Where do your goals lie in Freeride?
I quit boardcross 2 years ago just to focus on Big Mountain. I was still feeling it out, very few people going like, I'm going to win right away, I want to but yeah, my goal is to qualify for the Freeride World Tour. I wrote it on my wall. I've been staring at it for a couple years now. And then my goal is to win the Freeride World Tour when I get there. I'm not the type of competitor that would just go, this is fun. Like, no, I want to win. And honestly, yeah, I think I can definitely do it. And even if I can't, I want to be involved in this community. But the way I just look at it is like, I just got to win 3 competitions. We'll see. In any case, it'll be fun. And hopefully you'll be seeing me up on top of that podium next year. But in any case, everybody's capable of doing it. And, I respect it. I have a deep respect and love for every one of my fellow riders. So we do some of the craziest stuff, and not just the ski industry, but in all of sports. And the level's just going to keep getting higher. So you're going to want to stay tuned for what the Freeride World Tour has in store.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Rock on.
Go, Brian.
Like me, a lot of girls like me, niggas wanna fight me. Nigga, get your ass checked like a fucking nugget.